Hey everyone, welcome to the second video lesson on how to set up your online classroom through D2L and Brightspace. So in today's lesson, we're going to be focusing on posting content. I'm not quite on creating content yet because I want to save that for a little later when we start getting a little more advanced. This posting content lesson is going to be in a two-parter. I found the first video to be too long, so I've decided to break them down a little more. The first video will explain how to set up new subjects, post within those subjects, and add things like videos and files to them. There is also a specific part that talks about HTML documents, so for those of you that are thinking, oh, I already know how to do that, if you know how to post content and add things to it, skip to this part specifically. That will explain why the HTML document is so important to upload in that file format, and yeah, that's pretty well it. So let's get into it. So we're going to access our online classroom. I'm already on the portal page because this is pretty standard for teachers. I'm going to click it. Instead of going to my regular one, I'm going to go to the one that has nothing in it yet because it's a fresh slate for us to kind of look at. So we're greeted with our main page. You'll see this is actually the default navigation bar, which is fine. It gives your content, your Dropbox, and your class list, which, like I said before, are probably the three mainstays of any navigation bar. So let's go into content. This will be your meat and potatoes of your learning environment. This is where all your lessons will be posted and organized and whatnot. You'll see there's already a tab here created called Reading. I just made this in advance to save some time. I want you to focus your attention in this section here. So there's one thing called expectations. Now this I didn't use personally. I don't know if anyone did in my immediate bubble here. What this is you can add expectations from the curriculum document. So in Ontario, you can add the mathematics and literacy stuff to your learning environment and assign it to certain lessons as sort of a checklist for yourself. So right now it says 0% because I haven't assigned any, let alone attach them to my lessons. I think this is designed for those classes that are strictly online. I'm assuming it's going to be blended next year, so I didn't worry about it. If you want me to make a video about it, by all means send me a message and I can look more into it. We're going to be looking at this new unit option here. So it says new unit, but the way I treat it as is new subject. Because again, I think D2L was designed to be used as a university course offering and a high school course offering, where the subject has been decided. So when you sign up for algebra, you're just getting units within algebra. Whereas in elementary classrooms, we teach kind of everything. So I'm going to click new unit, and this new one I'm going to create is called math because we do a lot of math. And down here, you're given an option to add a description. And you can make it whatever you want. I left mine mostly blank because this wasn't the main focus. But you can call it, this is where your super smart and super funny teacher will post math learning. And you can edit in this description area however you want. This is pretty standard in that you get your bold and underline options. You can make it a different color if you want. You can make it bigger. It's totally up to you how you design this stuff, and that's pretty standard from Microsoft Word and all those other text editing documents. So if you scroll down to the bottom, or if you look down here, you'll have a save option, which when you save it, it gets posted essentially. There's also this little switch here that says hidden beside it. And what that means is you can post all your material and prepare it however you want and just leave it hidden and slowly make it visible. So I'm going to make it visible right now just so we have it prepared. And you'll see it creates this tab. Think of these like tabs in a binder to be organized. You can move them however you want. They're just drag and drop. And when you get several of them, I find that I put my most important ones towards the top, so any sort of news or announcements, or I'll show you what I mean. So if I go to my this previous class that I did, I had my schedule as the first one, so kids can go on there, students can go on there every week, or parents or guardians or whoever, and see what I've assigned for that week or what my expectations are. I've got my announcements here, tutorials here on how to do certain things, and then so on and so on. So let's go back to our grade 4 one. So once you've got your subjects created and you want to start adding lessons to them, you would click the specific subject you want to add to. So we're going to add to math here. Now, you'd assume that you click add, but add existing, this button here is designed to be used for people that have been teaching online for years in a row, and they've built up this sort of document base on their previous online classroom. Because with that add existing button, you can pull material from another class or subject and move it to this one. So assuming most elementary teachers haven't done this yet, you would click create new. And when you get to your create new option, you're given about 8 buttons, 2 of which are hidden in here. Really, I only use 2 of them. I used this HTML document, and most recently, this new lesson document. This new lesson, sorry, I called it a document, but what I meant was folder, is like a title page in your binder for a unit. So if I click new lesson, within math, let's say I want to do fractions. Again, you can enter a description, not the main purpose of this organizer tab. So I'm going to leave it blank. I'm going to make it visible because I want people to see it, and I'm going to click save. So now you'll see within math, there's an extra subset of a fractions tab, which is great. This is just for organization. You don't need to do this, and I'll show you what it looks like without it, actually, because I didn't do it, and I found that it looks like it's too much almost. So here's my math tab, and you'll see it's all just kind of in a line like this. And it makes it difficult to look at because it just looks like it's a lot. So I find that organizing it with those folders helps keep it more manageable for your students in your class. So now I want to add a lesson to my fractions unit. Again, click create new. And the HTML document here is the one that you're going to be posting with almost entirely. I specifically used only this. And the reason I did that is because when you create a posting with as an HTML document, it makes it available on the Brightspace Pulse app. It also provides a tool for your students that no other posting will do, in that it gives them a reader option. So let's create something quick. We're going to call this one comparing fractions, just something generic. And let's say you want to write a description on what the instructions will be. So you will use the worksheet to compare fractions to each other, whatever. And I'm going to make it visible, and I'm going to click save for now. I know I haven't really uploaded anything to it, but I just want to click save for now just to show you what I mean. So here we go. So you got your subject, and within it, you've got your unit called fractions that you can click, and now there's a lesson in there called comparing fractions. So if I click that, you'll notice this little listen tool here that's provided. If a student clicks that, it loads, and this read
You'll
speaker
use the worksheet to compare fractions to each other.
Reads it right to them. So for the students that are limited by their reading ability, this is a tool for them to overcome that. So again, you're creating that accessibility, and you're creating that equitable learning environment. Not everybody's going to use it, but it's there if they need it. So let's go back into this, and this is a great way if you make a mistake on a posting, like there's a typo or you've uploaded the wrong worksheet, it's totally editable, and the way you do that is you click on the lesson, and beside the create new option there's these 3 dots, and within there you can click edit. So it takes you right back to where you were. Now let's say I want to add a worksheet to this. Beside the bold, italics, and underline toolbar, there's 3 more options. The 2 most important being this one here that looks like play, pause, circle, and square, and this lightning bolt. This play, pause, circle, square button is actually called insert stuff, which I think is awesome. Totally makes sense. So if you click insert stuff, it gives you a whole slew of things that you can put in there. What you're going to be looking for is my computer, because that's where your files would be saved. Course offering files, again, is that if you've taught previously and you've got them all uploaded. So if I click my computer, it'll ask me to choose a file. So I'll click choose file, and I've already got mine linked to my online teaching folder, so these are all my files. Now when I save a worksheet on my computer, I save it as a PDF. And the reason I do that is because they're universal documents that can be opened on any device. And so it makes it, again, more accessible for students. So let's just add a random fractions worksheet that I have here. So once you choose the file, you can see that it's been selected there. You can click upload, and it's sourced it to somewhere. It's uploaded it to some server that Brightspace and D2L have, but you're given an option to add a link text. This just keeps it from looking like this string of letters, and you can just call it fractions or comparing fractions worksheet, and you can hit insert. So what it does is it creates this hyperlink in here within your lesson that students can click and access the document. What I do to make it easier for them is I say click here to see worksheet, and I draw a little arrow using dashes in that right bracket or that greater than symbol. And that way students have no excuse of missing it, because I also make it a size 24 font, bold it, and color it to something like orange. You don't necessarily need to do that, but it's an option. I usually don't color the hyperlink, I just color the text, because when you color the hyperlink it makes it look confusing. And there's that. So now if I hit save again, students are presented with this. They can listen to it, and then they can see click here to see worksheet. And if they click it, it opens a new tab, and they're given their work for the day. Let's go back into edit, because now you've decided that you want to add a video to go with it to help explain the concept further. YouTube is a pretty big tool. There's a ton out there, and that's again why I'm not focusing on creating content as much as I am focusing on posting content right now. So you're gonna go out and find a YouTube video. I've got one here loaded. That is the Math Antics Basic Division video. I've paused it because there was an ad. Doesn't really matter. So within this, usually you're inclined to click that link and just copy it. But before you do that, go into the share button down here, and you're going to see the same link. It's a little shorter, but there's also this embed option. And what that does is that actually, instead of just leaving a hyperlink, it takes the video and puts it right into your lesson. So when you click embed, it gives you this code, which you're just going to highlight and copy. Don't try to read too much into it. You can also just click copy there, and it copies it for you. And you're going to go back into your lesson and insert stuff. Now when you click insert stuff, you're going to feel like you want to click YouTube. Don't. What that is it's a search option for you to add links that way. Instead, you're going to go to enter embed code. And it's going to give you just a blank kind of text space where you can paste in what you copied earlier, hit next, where it's going to show you a preview, and then you're going to click insert. And now your video is right within the lesson. So where this will come in handy is kids who are on, or students who are on iPads or smartphones. Instead of having to click the link, open a new tab, go to this whole new thing, it's all built right within your lesson. So now you can hit save, and you'll see that everything is right where it should be. So they can watch the video in there, make it full screen, do whatever they need to, and then do the work after. So that concludes this lesson. You can tune in for the next one, where it gets a little more complicated in that I start talking about how to differentiate the lessons for students that have different learning needs, how to directly link to your Dropbox and how to use that, as well as creating a discussion forum for your students to talk about things like just to diversify, instead of just doing worksheets all the time or just watching videos all the time and all that. All right, so stay tuned. Make sure you give the page a like so you can see the next video. If you have any suggestions, by all means message me, because again, I'm not an expert in this. This is just how I do it and what I found worked best for me. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you guys again soon.